This telecast of Oklahoma City Cavalry basketball is brought to you by Anthony's, the place to get casual. By your Oklahoma Ford dealers, the Truck Authority. Sight and Sound, what we do best is save you money. And by Evans Home Furnishings Mall. Evans has it all.
Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year's Eve to you. I'm Dean Blevins along with Mick Cornett, and for the third straight year, Five Alive is happy to televise the Oklahoma City Cavalry on New Year's Eve. Mick, and tonight a couple of National Conference rivals go at it. Our Oklahoma City Cavalry and their Sioux City Falls Skyforce.
It is hard to say, isn't it? Skyforce is one word, by the way. Two teams that really need some identity. They look for a missing ingredient, trying to make a run at some of the better teams in the league. These teams personify the league. They're great guards, looking for a big man.
Well, there is a big man on the floor tonight. We'll take a look at a guy named Tito in just a second that plays for the Skyforce. Right now, though, let's take a look at the standings, Mick. Both of these teams are in third place in their respective divisions. There you see the Western Division.
The Oklahoma City Cavalry with a convenience-like store of 7 and 11, 2.8 points per game. Third place, but you see, not very far out of second at all. And then as we check at the other division where Sioux Falls resides, they are also in third place, 8-7 record, and they're playing pretty well.
They play real well when Cedric Hunter, their star point guard out of Kansas, plays for them. More on Cedric a little bit later. One of the unique things and fun things, I believe, about the CBA is the scoring system. Yeah. It's unique. It is a system that keeps every team in the game every quarter, Mick.
Well, it's real simple to understand, but if you're not familiar with it, it works like this. Each team that wins a quarter gets 1 point. If the two teams tie in a quarter, they get a half point each. And the team that wins the game gets 3 points. You add all those points up, you receive a possible 7 points in each game, and it's those points that determine the league standings and ultimately who makes the playoffs and who does not.
And our team really liked that a couple of games ago when the Cavalry played the best team in the league and not only won the game but won all the quarters, swept all 7 standing points. And then we go on the road and drop all 7 back to them. So it's a crazy league, but it does make for an exciting finish to every quarter. There are some outstanding players on the floor tonight. Most of the players were drafted by NBA teams. Some stayed for several years. Tito Hortford is a 7-1 player out of Miami I'm sure many of our viewers have heard of.
High school player of the year out of Texas, 1985. I watched him in the Faith 7 game go against Stacey King, but he came out of college early and he's paid for it ever since.
He has been a lot of places, both in this country and out. He has played in the NBA, drafted by the Bucks, and almost played for Leonard Hamilton a couple of times, the former OSU coach, when he was at Miami. Remember, he went down there, and Tito said he was also recruited by Hamilton at the University of Kentucky. The Cavalry has a new lineup tonight, a couple of new players, a couple in, a couple out. One of the new ones, though, Mick, making his home debut again because he played here a couple of years ago, Bernard Thompson. He's a good player.
Well, you know, if your favorite Cav leaves the team, just wait a while. They'll probably be back. That's the case here. Bernard Thompson, 6'6", a former first-round pick by the Portland Trail Blazers. Maybe he's the missing ingredient. Maybe he's what the Cavs need. They certainly could use his scoring, and he's a great free throw shooter, which they also need.
And he is at the free throw line, as you see him. A wonderful touch. He has been bothered by injuries this year, but he is coming back, and the Cavs hope that he is on pace as what he was a couple of years ago here. One guy who is on pace as to what he's done in Oklahoma City is Kelsey Weems. He leads this club in scoring and assists once again. He's been with the club all 4 years.
And that's unbelievable in this league, to stick around for 4 years. Kelsey's a great player, got a great first step, and he's what really puts this franchise together. When you look year by year, Kelsey's the one thing that it's consistent. You see, he can shoot from the outside, and Dean, he can penetrate as well.
Kelsey Weems out of North Carolina State, and if the Oklahoma City Cavalry is to register a home win tonight, Kelsey Weems will no doubt be an integral part of that. The Cavs need a win at home tonight. Stay with us. We still have a few seats left if you'd like to come down. If not, sit back and enjoy our televised game tonight of Oklahoma City and Sioux Falls. Contact. I have it. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Can anyone hear me? Great. Okay. All righty. We'll take it and toss it to the PA man, correct? Yeah. Yeah. Mike.
Hello, Larry. Can you hear me
Testing.
fine?
1, 2, 3. Testing.
Great.
1, 2, 3.
Yes. Okay, now, do we want Paul here right now?
And now, please stand and bring on your Oklahoma City Cavalry. Number 4, a 6'4" guard from the Longhorns of Texas. Let's welcome Lance Blanks. Number 20, a 6'6" forward from the Sooners of Oklahoma, Kermit Sherlock Holmes. Number 32, a 6'9" center from the Gamecocks of South Carolina. Let's have a warm welcome to Oklahoma City for Edmund Wilson. Number 34, a 6'6" forward from the Bulldogs of Fresno State. Let's welcome back Bernard Thompson. Number 11, a 6'2" guard from the Cowboys of Oklahoma State, Corey Williams. Starting tonight for the Cavs, number 15, a 6'2" guard from the Utes of Utah, Byron Wilson. Number 30, a 6'5" guard for the Cowboys of Oklahoma State, Terry Bagans. Number 50, the 6'11" man in the middle for the Gunners of Austin Peay, Barry Sumter. Number 23, a 6'7" forward from the Wolfpack of North Carolina State, Lorenzo Charles. And number 10, our 6'2" guard from the Wolfpack of North Carolina State, Kelsey Williams. Your Oklahoma City Cavalry. The Cavalry's head coach, Henry Bibby. Joining Coach Bibby on the bench are assistant coaches Rich Marshall, Don Flick, Bob Go-Go Stevens, and Robert the Swamp Man Jones. Trained by Skip Kramerborg of the Oklahoma Center for Athletes.
And we're glad you're with us. We'll come back for the tip-off in his 3rd season with our Cavalry. Charlie Rosen, the head coach in the inaugural season for the Cavs.
Bibby had the good fortune to play collegiately under the legendary John Wooden. Some would argue one of the great coaches of all time. I guess no one would argue one of the great. Some people might say he is the greatest, certainly the most successful college coach.
Barry Sumter will get the jump for Oklahoma City tonight. You heard during the introductions that Lance Blanks and Edmund Wilson are joining the club. Ike Austin, the big man in the middle, is gone. He's headed to Spain. So is Ron Hury. He's been waived.
And we're underway, and Kelsey Williams controls the opening tip. CBA action from Oklahoma City. The Sioux Falls Skyforce and the Oklahoma City Cavalry. And early on, Lorenzo Charles takes it inside, draws a foul. Stuckey doesn't like the call, but he'll have to be stuck with it. And the Cavs will go to the line.
Check out this body of Charles. Good look at Stuckey there, who's a fine player for the Skyforce, one of their top 3 players. But the guy at the free throw line, you'll know him from NC State fame when he slammed home the game winner for Jim Valvano's club. Lorenzo Charles, he did that back in '83, but look at the build on this guy. 6'7", 240, less body fat than Mick Cornett.
Hard to believe, but true. Charles hits the first free throw, and that's something the Cavs have not been good at this year. They are last in the league in free throw percentage. Charles shoots the second. Gets the roll. It's a good start. 2-0 Cavs. And here comes Cedric Hunter. One of the league's top point guards. Played collegiately at Kansas under Larry Brown. Took Kansas to the Final Four along with Danny Manning. Stuckey working one-on-one inside on Sumter. Gets the bucket, draws the foul. Working a little ISO to start off the game.
Stuckey, the player we mentioned on the other end after he committed the foul, he is an outstanding player. The #1 pick in the CBA draft for Wichita, although it didn't work out there. The coach said he couldn't score. Maybe not an outside shooter, but Wilson. But he can put it on the floor and go to the hole.
Stuckey averages 18 points a game. So far, he's got 3, and the Skyforce lead it early, 3-2. Kelsey hurries the ball down court. That's Cedric Hunter on him. Fagans inside to Lorenzo Charles. Look out.
We were told before the ball game that Lorenzo Charles and Stuckey would be a great matchup, or to keep our eyes on that, and so far that's all we've needed to keep our eyes on.
Stuckey top of the key. Goes over to Daryl McDonald, the former Cav. Kelsey guards him closely. Stolen. No. Through his hands. Well, Byron Wilson would like to have that opportunity again. Hunter's shot is blocked. Saved. Did it go off Hunter? It's going to be Cavs ball.
That guy right there, Wilson, is a fine ball player. He has been a good find for this club. Has been solid. Probably perhaps has the best chance of any player on the floor tonight, for the Cavs at least, of making an NBA roster.
Shot blocked and a ball turned over. Nice play by Fagans. He strips the ball. He'll get the honor of a slam dunk at the other end. Fagans played for Paul Hansen at Oklahoma State in the mid-'80s. Played for Henry Bibby with the Tulsa franchise of the CBA. Wilson, that's Hunter. Hunter's had a brief stint in the NBA. Puts up the baseline jumper. Rebound high by Lorenzo Charles. Byron Wilson to Lorenzo Charles, facing the basket. Shot long, rebound by Campbell. He gives it to Hunter, and here comes the Skyforce. Cavalry leads 6-3, 9:46 to play first quarter. McDonald on the penetration, draws the double team, sticks it back out to Stuckey, and he cans the 15-footer.
Crowd wanting a travel call on Daryl McDonald, a real popular player when he was with the Cavs in his first season, and he's already been involved in a couple of plays that walk or traveling violations could have been called.
Fagans, the turnaround Jay, nothing but net.
Terry, a great shooter. He's really struggling this year, though, from the field, shooting 39%. He's a streak shooter. He has good range.
McDonald penetrates. Sumter throws up a hand. He may have gotten part of it. Ball goes out of bounds. Skyforce will remain in possession.
Henry Bibby felt coming into the game, one of the keys would be changing from offense to defense. This is a Sioux Falls club that can outrun the big guys for the Cavalry, or they have during the past meetings of this series.
Hunter, an arching jumper from the top of the key. Charles wants the rebound badly and rolls it down. Kelsey, short. 4 Skyforce players ready to grab that rebound. The Cavs were nowhere near the boards. McDonald is blocked by Sumter.
Good play by Sumter.
Loose ball. Controlling by the Skyforce. Turnover, Oklahoma City. Mix up defensively as McDonald is guarded by Sumter. Long shot put up by Wilson. And Kelsey comes away with the rebound. That's right, the point guard, who's the Cavs' all-time leading rebounder, has the ball. And the Cavs are going to set something up. You mentioned their trouble in the transition game. Fagans.
Fagans off the pick. He has the hot hand. He knows it, and he wants the basketball. Drains it from 18 feet.
It's 10-5 Cavs. McDonald in the paint. Finger roll.
Nice move. Nice adjustment by McDonald in the air. He had to bring that one underneath to keep it from being blocked, but he does it. It's a three-point game.
Fagans is open again.
Fagans on a roll. That was a 3 in collegiate ball, but only 2 here.
And Roger Lyons is going to the bench. Hunter finally works it inside to Campbell. Scores off the glass.
I don't know about that one.
You don't think he called glass on that? It's 12-9 Cavalry.
He is a quick player on the inside, but that was a nasty deuce. Adonis Jordan, by the way, was being introduced tonight. He is in a hotel here in Oklahoma City, sick with the flu. We wish him the best. Hope he's tuning in.
Cedric on the break, feeds Daryl McDonald. He scores easily.
And there's the break we talked about, changing back the defense. If you don't score, you've got to get back.
And now at the other end, Kelsey turns the trick.
That goes back at you.
Not too many players in the league quicker than Kelsey Weems, especially with that first step. Hunter's wide open from 20. Swish.
Cedric Hunter, just a heady ball player. You mentioned an assist guy. He has set the Sioux Falls record for career assists. He averaged 8.7 assists. That's a ton. Almost 9 assists a game a season ago.
6:25 to play, first quarter. Cavs clinging to a 1-point lead. Look at Kelsey. A 2-pointer.
Well, we have seen 5 baskets tonight made beyond the 3-point circle in college ball, but none beyond the 3-point arc here.
Cavs lead the league in 3-point attempts. Stuckey drives on Sumter. Picks up the foul.
Timeout, Oklahoma City. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back the 1993-94 Oklahoma City Cavalry.
And we'll be back with more CBA basketball from the Myriad. The Cavs have a 3-point lead. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Terry Fagan's red hot for our Oklahoma City Cavalry. He has 8. And watch the OSU Cowboy here with the reverse jam. Nice, Terry. He's a good-sized guard. 6'5", 195-pounder. He was injured a little bit earlier in the year. Mick had sat out, I believe it was 2 weeks, and I saw him limping around the office one day, and I said, Terry, what's wrong with you? He says, it's the shoes. And it was the shoes. I asked him tonight if that was the only injury he's had all year, and it was the shoes that didn't fit him. So he now, and that kept him out of action for 2 weeks.
Fagan's not drafted by the NBA or the CBA, but has certainly had a successful career at the minor league level. As Dean mentioned earlier, he can fill it up. A pure scorer. Stuckey's at the line. 17th leading scorer in the CBA, and he hits the first one. There is no 1-and-1 in professional basketball. The CBA generally follows NBA rules. Everything's a 2 unless you're shooting the free throw that comes after a made basket. In that case, it's a 1. Stuckey hits them both. 16-15, Cavs by 1. Cavs have the same lineup in. Kelsey almost lost it, but remains in possession.
Zone defenses are allegedly illegal in the league.
Fagans gets his own rebound and the putback.
That's 10 for Fagans. I say allegedly because Henry Bibby was complaining this afternoon that a lot of teams are doubling up, really running a lot of illegal zones, and we'll keep an eye on it tonight and try to show you. But actually the rule is you can't guard a man for over 2.9 seconds. You've got to get back in your man-to-man defense, which Oklahoma City is employing now.
Wilson misses. Stuckey inside. Cavs playing good defensively in the paint tonight.
What great hand strength there. I guess everything on that man is strong. Lorenzo Charles, 23 in white. Tremendous hand strength, though. When he gets his hand on a rebound, it is his. Maybe a push off there on Charles.
The Cavs have kept much of the ball handling away from Daryl McDonald. He is the best defender, leads the league in steals. And if you'll notice, most of the time they work away from his side.
Well, he is also a tremendous defensive player, McDonald, number 10.
Kelsey thinks about driving, turns his back to the basket, draws the double team. Now he's in trouble.
Whoa, boy, you think it's not a physical league. Cedric Hunter, a wonderful job of not getting the foul call, but being extremely physical. And Weems comes out on the bottom end of that tangle.
And those that say they never called traveling, they just did. Edwards, bounce pass into Stuckey. Wheeling and dealing and missing. Skyforce will retain possession. White letters on a black uniform with a teal outline for Sioux Falls. Wilson with the inbounds to Edwards. High arching shot goes down.
Edwards, Wright State's all-time leading scorer, scored over 2,300 points.
Who did he pass,
player.
Dean, to become Wright State's all-time leading scorer?
Oh, that's a good trivia question. I assume you know, or you wouldn't have asked.
No, I don't know. I don't know I could name a Wright State player until you brought that up. Weems goes in, has it stripped. 3-on-1. Wilson makes it a 3-on-2.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Kelsey Weems pulled. He has struggled with turnovers this year. There's no question about his defensive ability, his quickness. Doesn't shoot the ball as consistently outside as you would need, but his biggest problem that keeps, or the biggest problem that keeps Weems out of the NBA is his turnovers.
Sumter is checking out, and I believe we're going to see our first look at Edmund Wilson. Well, Sumter's back. He just went over to get something out of his eye. Wilson awaiting entry into the game. Edwards is at the line. We have 3 players named Wilson on these rosters and 1 person named Williams.
Mick, you were down here last night. Oklahoma had a good ball game against Tulsa. Some people had expected the Hurricane to come out on top, although Oklahoma was a slight favorite going into that one in the all-college.
I think those that saw the tournament saw Oklahoma at its worst and at its best.
Yeah.
As poorly as they played the first night, they played that well last night.
I guess Tulsa just couldn't shoot it at all last night, huh?
No, they did not. Billy played some smart defense on Shea Seals, and Tulsa was unable to come up with something else offensively. Cavs will inbounds the ball. They suddenly trail now 19-18. Cavs have lost the ball. Now they're just talking it over. Roger Lyons, the head coach of Sioux Falls, he's hoping to see his first complete game here at the Myriad. He was tossed out the last time Sioux Falls played here, and this is his first year as a head coach in this league.
Sergeant Slammer there, Mick. He is back in rare form. He was been a couple of different Sergeant Slammers, but that's a really talented one there.
There you see Lyons, the winningest coach in WBL history, and probably will be because that league has folded. He was at Calgary in that league, was an assistant coach for Sioux Falls last year, and got the head job this time. And there's Henry Bibby. Fagans will inbounds it to Kelsey Weems. That Hunter and Weems matchup is looming big. It's been very physical for 2 guys that are pushing 6 feet. Charles in trouble, and another turnover. Wilson nails it. Wood, you could hear a pin drop when that one went down. 21-18. Cav fans want some offensive excitement from the guys in white. Low Charles down low, fighting for room. Scores.
Lorenzo Charles definitely wanted to go to the right that time. He was reluctant to roll back the other side and go to his left, but he knew what he was doing. Knocked it down. It's a 1-point game as the Skyforce leads. We're looking for that first quarter standing point with 3 minutes to go.
There's Tito Horford having to give it up, and a turnover as Kelsey steals the pass. He thinks about going to Wilson, gives it up to Fagans, who pondered a three, then turned it down, fed it inside, another turnover. Here comes Edwards, 1-on-2. Flips it inside to Campbell. Nice shot off the glass.
Cavs have had a rough season in losing close quarter points, standing points in each quarter. We'll see how they do in this one. They were down 1, now down 3 with 2:40 to go.
Byron drives in, hoping to get the roll, cannot, but an offensive rebound by Low Charles.
What's a nice job. Like Edmund Wilson with his first bucket. He kept that one alive after a poor turnover on the previous possession. Nice job by Wilson.
His first bucket as a Cav. Inside pass, a nice move by Hunter. Edwards unable to finish, but a foul was called. 23-22, the Skyforce leading with 2:19 to play in the first quarter. More CBA basketball from the Myriad right after this timeout.
Who wants pizza, pizza, pizza? Little Caesars Pizza has a surprise for 4 lucky fans. All you have to do is listen for your seat number to be called. When you hear it, jump up and yell, pizza, pizza. As loud as you can, and a delicious hot pizza will be delivered right to your seat by a beautiful sun dancer. So get out of those stuff, check your seat number, and get ready to yell pizza. Tonight's winners are Section 428, Road.
Hey, Larry. .219 remaining in the first quarter. Oklahoma City trailing Sioux Falls 22-23. Looking for that first quarter standing point. We have Magic Johnson coming to town soon. Mick, have you bought your tickets? Be here February 16th.
And just a couple of thousand tickets are left. Not a bad seat in the Myriad. It's a good place to watch basketball, but if you want a ticket, you better get it.
Selling those at Sight and Sound. Also the Myriad box office. You can call the box office at 297-3000. Magic looks like he's having fun doing that. I was curious as to how that would go, and looking at him in some of the other cities, he's having fun doing it.
Well, do you think those guys are told to pass the ball to Magic?
It's his league.
Yeah, well, you know, Magic was always accused of kind of picking out who would coach the Lakers. Now he really has things his way. There you see Bill Edwards at the line. Can't get the roll.
Who'd Magic run out of L.A.? Paul Westhead?
Yeah, back in about 80, 81.
Yeah. Still a one-point game with 2:15 to go.
Kelsey brings it down. He's played the whole game. Byron Wilson missing. Wilson with the rebound. Kermit Holmes in the game now for the Cavs. Campbell knocks it out of Charles' hands.
Great position that time down low by Charles, and once again you've got to give credit to Edmund Wilson, number 32. He was brought over to be a rebounder. Kelsey Weems told Henry Bibby that at the Charlotte camp, number 32 could rebound. Of course, Weems almost made the roster this year with Charlotte, and Wilson was there for a while, and he's doing a good job of keeping balls alive.
Charles ties the score at 23. And Lance Blanks has entered the lineup for the Cavalry as well. That's him with the basketball.
Checking in for Oklahoma City, a big Oklahoma City welcome from the Longhorns.
Daryl McDonald has checked out for Sioux Falls. Holmes has it stripped, picks it up, and scores.
Nice persistency that time by Kermit Holmes, as it looked like he would lose possession of it.
Look at the defense played by Kelsey Weems there. Notice how he bends his back almost parallel to the ground. That's not exactly how they teach it, but Kelsey's done that ever since he's been here. Bounce pass inside to Campbell. Jump hook. bounces home.
We're battling for that standing point. Tie ball game, 1:12 remaining.
Kelsey's brought it down the left side virtually every possession. Drives paint. Throws it to our cameraman, Scott. Out of bounds. Cavs will retain possession. Kelsey looks up at the clock. 10 on the shot clock. As it's stripped, and the Skyforce will take over. Another turnover. Corey Williams wanting to check into the game. He goes to the scorer's table. Tie game, 45 seconds to play in the first quarter. Cedric Hunter glances over to see that Williams is already going to come into his place. Campbell sets a pick, allowing Hunter to be wide open. Cavs grab the rebound. We're tied at 25, 27 seconds on the game clock, 20 seconds on the shot clock. Six-second difference between the two.
Williams calling, pardon me, he's calling for open court. He wants a one-on-one action, and he gets it. The first shot of his Cavalry career for Blanks, almost won the quarter.
Hunter trying to win it now. 4-3. Cavs get 4.5 seconds to go. Cavs down by 2 as Bill Edwards scores. Kermit Holmes gives up to Williams, or Blanks rather, and Blanks misses, and the Cavs lose the first quarter.
Great players come up with great plays, and Cedric Hunter is always going to give his team the best opportunity to score, and he does at that time. The Cavs lose the first quarter standing point. It's 27-25 as we head to second quarter action.
Kelsey Williams. We'll see if Corey has a little better luck. Skyforce won the first quarter, 27-25. Second quarter underway from the Myriad. Now Daryl McDonald is bringing it down as Cedric Hunter has checked out of the lineup.
Fagan's had 10, Charles 7 in that first quarter.
Edwards misses.
On the flip side, Wilson. Kelsey Williams had the 4 turnovers.
Both teams shoot well.
Yeah. Lance came in firing blanks, but he can shoot. Number 4, you'll remember him from Texas. Charles with the muscle move down low. He's got 9.
Lance Blanks with a first-round draft pick by the Detroit Pistons. Corey Williams driving through. Kermit turns down a shot, winds up with a pretty good one in Kansas.
Nice job by Holmes, but Corey Williams has got to get where he can come down and take that 15-foot jump shot with regularity and stroke it down.
Lacks confidence in his shooting. He actually leads the Cavs in three-point field goal percentage, 33.3. And of course, he hit that one game winner at the buzzer. Tito with the sky hook.
Tito, this guy has been everywhere from the Dominican Republic. You mentioned the Texas High School Player of the Year out of Houston in '85. Played at Miami. Drafted by Milwaukee. He's played with the Bullets. Been to Venezuela, Brazil. We'll get back to more in a minute. I mean, this guy, I want some credit miles on his mileage program.
And he almost went to 2 or 3 times that many places.
Yeah.
Some would say Oklahoma. Blanks wants to go inside. Finally does. Lorenzo Charles working on Tito Horford. Feed inside to Corey Williams, and he scores.
He beat the shot clock by a fraction of a second.
Corey spent all of last season with the Chicago Bulls, much of it on the injured list. But he does carry a world championship ring.
Boy, great first step that time by McDonald. Corey Williams comes into Oklahoma City as being a good defensive player. Certainly was collegiately at Oklahoma State. But he was beaten on that play by McDonald. Great first step.
McDonald averaging 16 points a game. Puts the Skyforce up by 1, 32-31. 10 minutes to play, second quarter. Blanks to Wilson. He looks at Lorenzo Charles. Feeds it over to Holmes. That's Williams with McDonald guarding him.
Confused offense right now. Not much movement. Shot clock down to 4.
Williams forces one and scores off the glass.
Well, that's a great job of creating something where there was absolutely nothing. They were utterly confused.
Both of these teams have 2 or 3 different guys they can go with at the point. McDonald and Williams, the combinations now. There's a lot of contact going on inside. Kelby Stuckey draws the foul.
And when Lorenzo Charles comes down on you, I don't think you're going to be knocking too many of those down. Make it. Lorenzo Charles, the big guy, will come down with the foul here. Watch 23. 240 pounds at least.
Whoa. Got him in the air. The fans are starting to use their noise makers, which were on sale in the lobby.
Oh, that really works good with the headache. That is New Year's Eve, though. The stands are filling up rapidly here. We're going to have a large crowd.
Stuckey makes it. 34-33, Skyforce. Blanks drives. Nice pass, but Corey couldn't do anything with it. Corey Williams drives in. Boy, he's quick. Couldn't hit the shot. McDonald leads the break. Stolen by Blanks. One-on-one.
Nice controlled move by Blanks. Yeah, exactly. He finishes off the break, and that is so important.
Twisting shot by Bill Edwards.
Sioux Falls basket, number 12, Bill Edwards.
Mick, did I tell you Bill Edwards was Wright State's all-time career leader? Over 2,300 points.
That's a lot of points. Holmes feeds it outside. It's Wilson into Blanks. He finishes again.
Nice start for Blanks. When I see Blanks, I think of his running mate, Travis Mays. Mays played at Texas. He was also drafted in the first round of the NBA draft. He's been out of ball, though. Things didn't work out in the NBA, and he may end up in Oklahoma City. Decent chance of that.
That's McDonald. Throws one up wildly. Cavs have a chance to run. 3-on-2. Charles, can he finish it? No, but he drew the foul. Cavs lead by 1, 7:51 to play, second quarter. They dropped the first quarter by 2 points. A break in the action. Timeout called by Sioux Falls. These two teams have played twice before this year. On November 26th, Sioux Falls won 97-90. A month later, the Cavs won it. We'll be back with more basketball from the Myriad. Stay with us on New Year's Eve.
Have scored in the game between the Cavs and Sioux Falls.
And this is the type of crowd that gets bigger as the game goes on, because so many people are coming downtown for the opening night festivities and drop by a little bit late. Missed tip-off. One thing about coming to a Cavs game, it is intended for the entire family. There are things going on between every timeout, and even the youngest fans have a good time. There you see the scoring system employed there. Skyforce wins the first quarter and thus one standing point. The Cavs have a 3-point lead in the second quarter. Overall, Cavs nursing a 1-point advantage. Well, the clock has malfunctioned. They have 12 minutes remaining on the clock. Perhaps all the noisemakers have infiltrated the machinery here at the Myriad. Now 7:51 to play. Lorenzo Charles at the line, shooting 2.
That scoreboard is supposed to work. That thing cost the Cavs $50,000, cost the Blazers $50,000. City bought it for $250, sold some advertising, made a nice little profit off of it.
Same scoreboard, we understand, as it will go into the Chicago Stadium. Nice piece of equipment. Cavs by 2 as Charles hits the second. Williams guarding Hunter. A couple of former Big 8 players going head-to-head.
Nice job,
Turnover.
Corey Williams.
Well, I don't know if Williams is the reason, but since he's entered the game, the Cav turnovers have decreased and the Skyforce turnovers have increased. Holmes turns his back to the basket, puts up a short jumper and hits it.
Kermit, a very popular young man with this club, doing a solid job. He has been playing extremely well of late.
Charles almost got the steal. Skyforce will retain possession. 16 on the shot clock. Into Stuckey. Missed an easy shot. Here comes Corey. Corey's fast. He gives up the blanks. He's not much slower. Puts it up. Fight for the rebound. Won by Roland Gray. Edwards. They're not picking him up, going across the middle, and the Skyforce have narrowed the lead to 2. Cavs lead the quarter by 4. The game by 2. Cedric Hunter back in the game. Corey's wide open for 3. Barely touched iron, but Holmes is there with the rebound and the putback.
Hey, a great job by Kermit that time of putting it up very quickly. Defensive man wasn't ready for that quick release.
Gray misses wildly. Lorenzo Charles with the rebound. Lowe's having a good game. Williams will try to set things up from the other side. Kelsey Weems goes to the scorer's table. Be interesting to see which guard he takes the place of.
Nice hustle play by Holmes.
Charles misses the layup, but the Cavs control. Corey will set things up. Cavs have nobody underneath. Charles forces it up and gets it to go.
Yeah, when you have no one underneath, you better score. That's what Lorenzo Charles does. The Cavs playing well this quarter, leading by 8 in this quarter alone, 44-38 overall.
Edwards out to Campbell. Whistle blows. A Cav is down and a foul has been called.
Cavalry foul on number 23, Lorenzo Charles. His second personal foul, third team foul on the Cavs.
Campbell will go to the line. 5:30 to play second quarter. Cavs have opened up a 6-point lead with much of their starters on the bench.
You know, this game, if you just tuned in, we're playing at the Myriad, not the State Fair Arena. Sort of sounds like it's State Fair time.
Checking back in.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how well these horns can be heard at home, but a very obnoxious sound.
Well, Mick, we've only got a couple more hours from it.
Campbell hits the free throw. It's 44-40 Cavs. Henry will probably put some cotton in his ears before long. Corey working that left side as the Cavs have done all of the first half. That's blanks. Holmes.
No.
Scores off the glass.
Sweet play. Nice bank shot that time. A fadeaway going left for Kermit Holmes.
Marshall Wilson gives it to Hunter. Over to Edwards. Puts it in with the left hand.
Edwards averaging 16 points a game. He can go either way. Takes it to the hole very well.
Cavs retaining possession.
Be sure to check the back of your season ticket stub for a slam dunk offer from Sonic, a proud sponsor.
There you see Roger Lyons out of Ashland. I don't know where that is.
Do you know what state it's in?
No. Sounds like North Carolina, but I don't know. Whistle blows. Foul on Marshall Wilson.
Every player on the court hopes to end up in the NBA for the big bucks. Couple of names that stand out in the league right now. I'm sure you're familiar with Anthony Mason, John Starks out of Oklahoma State. Michael Adams, maybe you didn't know, the little player formerly of Denver, now with Washington, a former CBA player.
Holmes has had the hot hand, finally misses. Edwards tries to lead a break. Ball is thrown away, and another turnover. Williams grabbed the ball but stepped on the out-of-bounds line just as he grabbed it, and Sioux Falls will retain possession. I may be the only one in this building that vacationed in Sioux Falls this summer.
I bet you
South
are.
Dakota.
How was it?
I don't really remember. We just kind of drove through Sioux Falls on our way to Rapid City. Another CBA stop.
Is that the trip where your son dislocated his elbow?
That's the trip.
Yeah. In the car, we might add.
Actually in a restaurant.
Oh, okay.
In a restaurant, yeah. Okay, 46-42 Cavs. 4:25 to play second quarter. Wilson. Two-pointer.
Nice range for the 6'7", 205-pounder.
Williams and Blanks working the guard roles. Holmes forces one up, draws the foul. Wilson doesn't like the call, but he's stuck with it. Second quarter offense has been geared around Kermit Holmes.
Nice story in today's local paper, and I visited with Kermit about it before the game. It's been an unusual year for Kermit Holmes as we see him here. Tragic accident. He had a 22-year-old cousin in Okmulgee that was shot and killed over the summer. And Kermit told me he had been speaking with him an hour prior to that. He was in Canada playing at the time and decided to take a month off. And he's dedicated his career to his cousin. He was extremely close to him. Really a stabilizing force, a great young man, and the Cavs are happy to have him.
His name sounds familiar to you college fans. It's because he was at Oklahoma playing for Billy Tubbs just about 3 years ago. Misses the free throw. Under 4 minutes to play. Cavs lead the game by 2. They lead the quarter by 4. Roland Gray fouled. Bernard Thompson going to the scorer's table.
Cavalry foul on number 20, Kermit Holmes. His first personal.
He's coming in. Holmes is going out.
When he's healthy, Bernard Thompson, 34 wide, is one of the better players in this league. He struggled with back problems as Corey Williams comes up with another steal.
There's Bernard. Wastes no time putting up a shot. Hits it, foul.
Welcome back home, Bernard. Wow. Mike Baldwin, the esteemed Daily Oklahoman writer, has said that in his opinion, and he's seen every home game, I believe, with the Cavs for the 4 years, that Bernard Thompson is as good a player overall as Oklahoma City has had come through. Now, there was a guy named Dumas who was pretty darn good, but aside from Dumas, I tend to agree with that.
Missed the free throw. Cavs lead the game by 4. 3:36 to play second quarter. Fagans is getting ready to check in. Shot missed. Campbell with the rebound. Thompson steals it. Foul called.
There's a look at Kermit Holmes' mother. She comes to all of the games here in Oklahoma City, and that's one of the reasons that Kermit wanted to be traded back to Oklahoma City, and he is happy to have her here.
Was playing at Columbus. Columbus management worked out a trade but would send him here, but he had to play for 4 teams in 1 day in order to get here.
Well, he didn't really play for them. He was on the roster.
Well, that's true. It was in the summer. 4 different rosters in 1 day.
That is a record.
Fagans had a hot hand early. Corey fakes outside, drives.
Just 2 minutes remained after Malone's touchdown.
There's your shooter. There's your shooter. If his back is healthy, he could really help this club.
Corey's got it. Uncontested.
Cavs have had a solid second quarter. In fact, they played pretty well the first quarter until the end.
Sioux Falls wants a timeout. Corey Williams has really played well this quarter. And when we come back, the Cavs will try to hold on to an 11-point second quarter advantage. They lead the game by 9. Stay with us.
Kermit Holmes has exploded for 10 points here in the second quarter, as you see Corey Williams, who has had an outstanding second quarter, to lead the Cavalry. Cavs lead by 11, 2:39 remaining here in the second quarter. Overall, the Cavalry leading by 9, but Mick, they look to be in good shape to regain that one standing point.
They look very good this quarter. Corey Williams has added a spark to this club. Something that might come into effect later is the individual foul situation. In this league, you cannot foul out of a game. There you see the quarter score. Skyforce won the opener. Cavs handily in the second with 2.5 minutes to play. If you receive a 7th personal foul, it is a technical foul. But the pro technical is much less severe than a college technical in that there's no possession awarded. So really, it's just an extra shot for any person on that team. Therefore, if it's a good player, the coaches will leave him in.
There we see the numbers from the field. The Cavalry, a blistering 61%. Sioux Falls, generally, you shoot 54% on the road, you're winning. Skyforce finds itself 9 behind here with 2:39 in the second.
Cavs are last in the league in field goal percentage, so to shoot 61% for almost a half is outstanding.
Boy, great defensive pressure there. Corey Williams in the face of Campbell, giving him no breathing room whatsoever. And Campbell has a decided height advantage. He's at 6'7". Now they switch back where they belong as Hunter and Williams are matched up.
Stuckey in the paint, squares his shoulders, misses the shot. Lorenzo Charles with yet another rebound. Well, he gets up there considering how bulked up he is. It's Fagans inside to Charles. Back out to Corey. Sumter somewhat surprised to handle the ball. Williams just short as the shot clock went off.
Nice steal by
turnover.
Fagans. Hunter in great defensive position that time. That's a good call. You want to look at a player, and again, not to overemphasize the point, but Hunter is a player that does not have tremendous quickness. He's not going to come up with a shot off the dribble and just drill you, but he is an extremely aware player. Really makes great decisions on both the offensive and defensive ends.
Edwards wants to shoot, drives around Sumter, puts it up left-handed, and gets it to roll.
Nice.
What I like about Cedric Hunter is that he lists himself at 6 feet tall, which means that I can too, because we're the same height. And I know he's 2 inches, I know he's listed 2 inches taller than I list myself.
Really?
So, yeah. So I'm going to start calling myself 6 foot.
That's great.
Bernard Thompson for 3, missed it. Foul on the ground.
Sumter on his rear hollering, "He pushed me." They don't call it that way. Jim Capers, Quentin Murphy, the officials tonight. Only 2 here in the CBA, and that is drawing the ire of some CBA people, including Henry Bibby. He says that NBA has 3, college has 3, why not 3 here? In fact, I talked to Capers before the game and asked him that. He said he would prefer to have a 3rd.
Checking back in for Oklahoma City.
What do you think, cost containment?
I'm sure it's a money deal. These guys travel around. They're not used locally or regionally like a conference would in college. A lot of these guys are NBA officials who come down for a little added work. I would imagine you'd save a lot of money over a year using 2 instead of 3.
They make a lot of money in the NBA, though.
They do all right. 54 seconds to play in the first half. Cavs lead the quarter by 8. They lead the game by 6. That's Kelsey back in the game. Looking inside to Lorenzo Charles. Thompson controls. Kelsey's open. Ball's on the floor. Cedric's got it. 30 seconds to play in the first half. Shot missed, but rebounded by Stuckey. Now Edwards for 3. Off the front iron, Bernard Thompson grabs it. Shot clock is off. 15 seconds to play in the first half. Williams walks the ball up slowly. Bibby shouting out instructions. 5 seconds. Dumps it off to Wilson. Turnover. Cavs do not get a shot off.
At the end of the first half.
Nonetheless, they do well in the second quarter and win it 28-20. They take a 53-47 advantage to the halftime. We'll be back with more basketball from the Myriad. Stay with us. We got a great halftime coming up.
Quarter. Welcome back to the Myriad. Dean Blevins along with Mick Cornett, and our cavalry played pretty well. The first quarter they played well, but weren't able to hang on to get that first quarter standing point. Second quarter they dominated and won.